Welcome to Story Spectrum. Picture this, a world without cars, no highways, no road trips, no traffic jams. It's hard to imagine, right? That's because in just over a century, the automobile has completely reshaped our planet and our lives. But how did we get from a noisy, unreliable metal box to the sleek, smart vehicles we have today? Let's hit the road and find out. Our journey begins not with gasoline, but with steam. Way back in the late 1700s, a French inventor named Nicolas Joseph Cugnot built a three-wheeled steam-powered vehicle for the military. It was slow, clunky, and famously crashed into a wall on its first major run. Not exactly a roaring success, but it was the first self-propelled road vehicle, a true spark of genius. Throughout the 1800s, inventors across Europe tinkered with steam carriages. They were fascinating, but also heavy, loud, and took forever to start up. They were more of a novelty for the rich than a practical solution for the masses. Then everything changed. The real revolution arrived with the internal combustion engine. In 1886, a German engineer named Karl Benz patented his motorwagen. This wasn't just a carriage with an engine slapped on. It was a complete vehicle designed around its powertrain. It had 3 wheels, a one-cylinder engine, and could barely outrun a horse. But it was the blueprint. Karl's wife, Bertha Benz, proved its potential. In 1888, without telling her husband, she took the motorwagon on the first-ever long-distance car journey, covering over 60 miles to visit her mother. This marketing masterstroke showed the world that the automobile wasn't just a toy. It was the future. Simultaneously, other pioneers like Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach were also developing their own gasoline-powered vehicles in Germany. The race was on. The early 1900s were a wild west of automotive innovation. Cars were expensive, handmade luxuries. Each one was a unique and often unreliable creation. If you owned one, you probably needed to be your own mechanic. The roads were terrible, designed for horses, not high-speed machines. Driving was an adventure reserved for the wealthy and the brave. But one man was about to change all of that. Enter Henry Ford. Ford didn't invent the car, but he perfected a way to build it for everyone. In 1908, he introduced the Model T. It was simple, durable, and relatively easy to drive. But his real genius was the moving assembly line, which he implemented in 1913. This system drastically cut production time and costs. A Model T that cost $825 in 1908 was just $260 by the mid-1920s. Suddenly, the car was no longer a rich man's plaything. It was accessible to the average American family. The assembly line didn't just build cars. It built the middle class, creating jobs and putting the dream of mobility within reach for millions. The car's rise had a ripple effect across society. We needed better roads, so governments started massive paving projects. We needed places to get fuel, so gas stations popped up everywhere. Suburbs began to sprawl as people could now live further from their city jobs. The idea of the road trip was born, and with it, a new sense of freedom and exploration. Motels, drive-in theaters, and fast food restaurants all owe their existence to the car. It transformed our landscapes, our economy, and our culture. The period between the world wars was the classic era. Cars became more than just transportation. They became status symbols and works of art. Companies like Cadillac, Bugatti, and Rolls-Royce produced stunningly beautiful and powerful machines. Design took center stage. Sleek lines, chrome details, and powerful V8 and V12 engines defined the era. These weren't just cars. They were rolling sculptures, a testament to a new age of prosperity and style. After World War II, the automotive industry boomed again. American muscle cars became icons of rebellion and power in the 50s and 60s, with monstrous engines and bold designs. Meanwhile, in Europe, the focus was often on smaller, more efficient vehicles like the Volkswagen Beetle, the Mini, and the Fiat 500. These people-cess cars helped get a war-torn continent back on its feet and became cultural symbols in their own right. Japan also emerged as a major player, with companies like Toyota and Honda earning a reputation for reliability and fuel efficiency. But the party couldn't last forever. The 1970s oil crisis was a major wake-up call. Suddenly, fuel economy mattered more than horsepower. This crisis forced a huge shift in the industry. Big gas-guzzling cars fell out of favor. Smaller, more efficient models, particularly from Japan, flooded the market. This period also saw the introduction of new safety regulations. Seatbelts, airbags, and crumple zones became standard. A recognition that with the power of the automobile comes great responsibility. The late 20th and early 21st centuries have been all about technology. Computers entered the car, first controlling the engine, then everything else. We got anti-lock brakes, electronic stability control, GPS navigation, and Bluetooth connectivity. Cars became safer, more efficient, and more comfortable than ever before. We saw the rise of new vehicle types, like the minivan in the 80s and the SUV in the 90s, each one reflecting the changing needs and lifestyles of families. And that brings us to today, where we stand on the brink of another massive revolution. The internal combustion engine, which has powered our world for over a century, is facing its biggest challenge yet. Two major trends are defining the future: electrification and automation. Electric vehicles, or EVs, are quiet, quick, and produce zero tailpipe emissions. Companies like Tesla have shown that electric cars can be not just practical, but desirable and incredibly high-performing. Nearly every major automaker is now investing billions into developing their own lineups of electric vehicles, signaling a fundamental shift away from gasoline. At the same time, we're developing cars that can drive themselves. Autonomous driving technology, using a complex array of sensors, cameras, and artificial intelligence, promises a future where traffic accidents are a thing of the past. A future where you can work, watch a movie, or even sleep during your commute. We're not quite there yet, but features like adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist are stepping stones toward that fully autonomous reality. The car is transforming from a machine we operate into a smart device that serves us. From a sputtering steam wagon to a self-driving electric supercomputer on wheels, the journey of the automobile has been incredible. It's a story of human ingenuity, ambition, and our relentless desire for freedom and connection. The car has defined our past, shaped our present, and will undoubtedly drive us into a future that looks very different from the world Karl Benz first imagined. What will the next chapter hold? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the ride is far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, make sure to like, subscribe, and see you in another story.